Ladies and gentlemen, I want you to take a second and think about the last time you felt anxious. Maybe it was right before a big meeting. Maybe it was when you had to have a difficult conversation. Maybe it was just walking into a room full of people. Whatever it was, I bet your heart started pounding, your hands got sweaty, and that voice in your head started screaming all the worst-case scenarios at you. Sound familiar? We've all been there. And here's the truth: anxiety isn't the problem. The problem is what you do in response to it. The problem is that most of us make it worse by the words we say to ourselves. And today, I'm going to give you a simple, powerful, science-backed way to flip anxiety on its head in seconds. It all comes down to 2 words. Now, before I tell you what they are, I need you to understand something. Your brain believes what you tell it. When you say, "I'm so anxious," when you say, "I can't do this," when you say, "This is going to be a disaster," your brain hears it and says, "Okay, got it, panic mode on." And then your body follows. Your heart races, your breathing gets shallow, you feel frozen, stuck, overwhelmed. But it doesn't have to be that way. Because here's the secret. Your brain doesn't actually know the difference between anxiety and excitement. Let that sink in for a second. The physical symptoms of anxiety, racing heart, butterflies, adrenaline are the same as excitement. The only difference? The words you use. So instead of saying, "I'm so anxious," say this instead: "I'm excited." That's it, 2 words. And here's what happens. The second you say, "I'm excited," you hijack your brain's fear response. You interrupt the anxiety loop and give your brain a new instruction. Your body is still buzzing with energy, but instead of fear, you're telling yourself, "This is a good thing. I can handle this." Think about it: before a big moment, your body is already primed with energy. You just need to direct that energy toward focus and confidence instead of fear and self-doubt. Now, you might be thinking, "Mel, come on. That sounds too easy." And I get it. But let me ask you what you're doing now. Is it working? Every time you tell yourself, "I'm so anxious," does it make you feel better? Number, it just reinforces the fear and keeps you stuck. So try this. The next time you feel anxiety creeping in, say it out loud. "I'm excited." Say it even if you don't believe it at first. Say it even if your brain is still screaming, "No, I'm not." Because here's what happens: you say it enough, and your brain starts to believe it. And the more you believe it, the more you shift from panic to power. This isn't just motivational fluff. This is backed by neuroscience. Olympic athletes do this. Public speakers do this. The most confident, successful people train their minds to work for them, not against them. And you can do it too. Let's put this into action right now. I want you to think about something coming up that makes you nervous. Maybe it's a conversation, a test, a deadline. Whatever it is, hold that thought. Now, instead of thinking, "I'm nervous," say out loud, "I'm excited." Feel the shift? That's power. That's you taking control of your mind instead of letting anxiety control you. This works everywhere: before a big meeting, before a hard conversation, before stepping onto a stage, even before a workout. Anxiety and excitement feel the same in your body. The difference is what you tell yourself. So from this moment forward, you have a choice. You can keep saying, "I'm anxious." You can keep feeding the fear. Or you can take your power back with 2 simple words: "I'm excited." And watch what happens when you do. Your brain is always listening. Every single word you say to yourself is a command, and your brain will follow it without question. If you constantly tell yourself, asterisk, "I'm anxious," asterisk, asterisk, "I'm stressed," asterisk, asterisk, "I can't handle this," asterisk, guess what? Your brain believes you. It doesn't fact check. It doesn't argue. It just obeys. And once your brain accepts that thought, it sends signals to your body, triggering the exact symptoms you associate with anxiety. Your heart races, your muscles tighten, your breathing becomes shallow. Suddenly, what started as a thought has turned into a full-blown physical response, reinforcing the cycle even more. This is why anxiety can feel so overwhelming, because the more you say it, the more your brain believes it, and the more your body reacts to it. It's like a self-fulfilling prophecy. Your words are literally shaping your reality, whether you realize it or not. But here's the good news. If your words are creating the anxiety, your words can also end it. Asterisk, asterisk. Think about this. What if instead of saying asterisk, I'm anxious, asterisk, you told yourself something different? What if instead of reinforcing fear, you gave your brain a new command that helped you regain control? That's exactly what happens when you say asterisk. I'm excited, asterisk. And before you roll your eyes, let me explain why this works. This isn't just some feel-good mantra. This is backed by neuroscience. Your brain can't actually tell the difference between fear and excitement. Asterisk, asterisk. It experiences them in almost the exact same way. The only real difference is in the words you attach to the feeling. Asterisk, asterisk. When you're anxious, your heart races. When you're excited, your heart races. When you're anxious, your palms sweat. When you're excited, your palms sweat. When you're anxious, your breathing speeds up. When you're excited, your breathing speeds up. It's the same physiological response. The difference is the meaning you give it, and this is where your power comes in because you get to choose what that feeling means. You can label it as fear, or you can label it as excitement. And the second you make that shift, you interrupt the anxiety loop and give your brain a different instruction. Imagine you're about to step on stage to give a speech. Your body is buzzing with energy. If you tell yourself, asterisk, I'm so anxious, I'm going to mess up. Asterisk, your brain locks in on that fear, and suddenly your voice shakes, your palms sweat more, and your mind starts racing. But if you tell yourself, asterisk, I'm excited, this is energy, my body is preparing me to perform well. Asterisk, then your brain processes that same energy in a completely different way. Instead of shutting down, it sharpens your focus. Instead of making you panic, it makes you more prepared. This is why elite athletes, performers, and successful people all use this trick. When they feel nervous before a big moment, they don't tell themselves they're scared. They tell themselves they're excited. And by doing that, they take control of their own mindset. Now, let's talk about why this is so important in everyday life. Because let's be real, most of us aren't stepping onto stages or into championship games every day. But we do face moments of anxiety all the time. That difficult conversation you need to have, you can tell yourself, asterisk, I'm anxious, asterisk, and let the fear take over. Or you can tell yourself, asterisk, I'm excited. This is an opportunity to speak my truth, asterisk. That big deadline at work, you can say, asterisk, I'm overwhelmed, I can't handle this, asterisk. Or you can say, asterisk, I'm excited, I have a chance to push myself and get this done, asterisk. Even something as small as making a phone call you've been avoiding can let fear stop you. Or you can reframe it and take action. The key is repetition. You have to train your brain. Saying asterisk, I'm excited asterisk one time might not feel like a miracle fix. But if you say it every single time anxiety creeps in, anxiety thrives in uncertainty. The more you focus on what could go wrong, the more powerless you feel. And the problem is your brain is wired to look for threats. It's a survival instinct. Your mind is constantly scanning for danger, even when there is none. This is why anxiety can feel so overwhelming, because it makes you believe that the worst-case scenario is already happening, even when it's not. But here's the truth. Most of the things you're worrying about will never happen. Your brain is tricking you into believing that you're in danger, but you're not. You're just caught in a loop of what-ifs and worst-case scenarios, and that loop is stealing your peace, your time, and your energy. So, how do you stop it? How do you break free from the endless cycle of fear and overthinking? You do something incredibly simple but extremely powerful. You bring yourself back to the present moment. Anxiety lives in the future. It's always about what might happen, but peace, clarity, strength, those things exist right now. And the fastest way to pull yourself out of the anxiety spiral is to ground yourself in the present. Let's break this down. Have you ever noticed that when you're deeply engaged in something, maybe you're working on a project, watching a great movie, or having an amazing conversation, you don't feel anxious? That's because anxiety can't exist when your mind is fully absorbed in now. But when you're anxious, what happens? Your thoughts race ahead. You start catastrophizing, your body tenses up, your breathing gets shallow. Your mind is anywhere but the present. So what's the fix? You interrupt the pattern. You pull yourself out of your head and back into reality. And you do that by using a simple, science-backed technique called the 5-4-3-2-1 grounding method. Here's how it works. 5, look around and name 5 things you can see. 4, name 4 things you can touch. 3, name 3 things you can hear. 2, names things you can smell. 1, name 1 thing you can taste. It sounds simple, but trust me, this works. Because the second you shift your focus from your thoughts to your senses, you snap out of the anxiety loop and back into reality. You take control of your mind instead of letting it control you. Let's put this into a real-life example. Say you're about to walk into a big meeting and you feel your chest tighten. Your thoughts start spiraling. What if I mess up? What if I say something stupid? What if they think I don't know what I'm talking about? Stop. Right there. Don't let those thoughts take over. Instead, ground yourself. Look around. I see a painting on the wall. A coffee cup on the table. A plant in the corner. The clock on the wall. My notebook in my hand. Touch something. I feel the smooth surface of my pen. The fabric of my clothes. The chair under my fingertips. The warmth of my coffee cup. Listen. I hear the hum of the air conditioner. The sound of people typing. My own steady breathing. Smell. I smell fresh coffee. A hint of someone's perfume. Taste. I taste the mint from my gum. Boom. You're back. Your mind is no longer running ahead, stressing about what could happen. You're grounded in what is happening. And in that moment, the anxiety loses its grip. This technique is so powerful because it breaks the cycle. It stops anxiety from taking over by redirecting your focus to something tangible. And the more you use it, the more control you regain over your thoughts. Now, let's take this a step further. Because grounding yourself in the present moment isn't just about stopping anxiety, it's about training your brain to stop overthinking in general. Most of the stress and worry in your life comes from mentally living in a moment that doesn't exist yet. You're worried about tomorrow, next week, 5 years from now, but none of those moments are real yet. The only moment that is real is this one. And when you train yourself to stay here, instead of constantly living in the future, you take your power back. You stop worrying about things that haven't even happened. You stop wasting energy on things that may never happen at all. Now, I know what some of you might be thinking, but Mel, what if the worst case scenario does happen? Here's the thing, if something bad happens, you will deal with it when it comes. You are stronger than you think. You have faced challenges before, and you got through them. But stressing about something before it happens doesn't make you more prepared, it just makes you miserable now. So the next time you feel anxiety creeping in, I want you to pause. Take a deep breath. Look around. Find 5 things you can see. 4 things you can touch. 3 things you can hear. 2 things you can smell. 1 thing you can taste, because the moment you do this, you take back control. You tell your brain, I am here. I am present. And I am okay. And that's the truth. You are okay. You are more capable, more resilient, and more powerful than your anxiety wants you to believe. You just have to remind yourself of that one moment at a time. Your brain is the most powerful tool you have, but most of us don't know how to use it in a way that actually helps us. Instead, we let it run on autopilot, repeating the same patterns of overthinking, self-doubt, and fear. And the thing about anxiety is that it thrives in this kind of environment. It grows in uncertainty. It feeds off of hesitation. It gets stronger every time you let it dictate your actions. But here's what most people don't realize: your brain is trainable. Just like you can train your body in the gym, you can train your mind to work for you instead of against you. You don't have to be a victim of anxious thoughts. You don't have to feel powerless when fear creeps in. You can take control. And you do it by rewiring the way your brain responds to stress and uncertainty. Let's talk about how. First, you need to understand the science behind why your brain reacts the way it does. Your mind is designed to protect you. It's built for survival, not happiness. So when it detects a potential threat, whether it's a real danger or just an imagined worst-case scenario, it kicks into overdrive. It floods your system with stress hormones. It triggers your fight or flight response. And suddenly, even something as small as an email from your boss or an awkward conversation feels like a life or death situation. This is why you feel anxious for no reason sometimes. Your brain isn't malfunctioning, it's overfunctioning. It's seeing threats where there aren't any. And unless you step in and reprogram it, it will keep running this same outdated survival program over and over again. So how do you fix it? You teach your brain a new pattern. You replace the fear-based reaction with a power-based response. And the fastest way to do that is through action. Anxiety wants you to stay frozen. It wants you to overthink. It wants you to analyze every possible scenario before you make a move. Because the longer you hesitate, the stronger it gets. The key to breaking this cycle is to interrupt the hesitation. You have to take action before your mind has a chance to talk you out of it. This is where my 5-second rule comes in. The moment you feel anxious about making a call, sending an email, speaking up in a meeting, or even getting out of bed in the morning, you count 5, 4, 3, 2, 1, and you move. You do the thing before your brain has time to flood you with doubt. This works because it shifts control from your subconscious mind, where fear lives, to your prefrontal cortex, where logic and decision-making happen. You override the fear response by acting before it has a chance to take over. And let me tell you, this changes everything. When you start applying this in your daily life, you build momentum. You prove to yourself over and over again that you are in control. You stop waiting to feel ready, and you start training yourself to be ready. Now let's talk about something else that's crucial to rewiring your brain: self-talk. If you struggle with anxiety, chances are your self-talk is working against you. You don't even realize it, but the way you talk to yourself is probably making your anxiety worse. Think about it. When you feel anxious, what do you say to yourself? I can't do this. What if I mess up? I'm going to fail. Everyone will judge me. Your brain listens to everything you say. If you tell yourself you're not capable, your brain will look for evidence to prove you right. It will replay past failures. It will magnify your weaknesses. It will convince you that you're not strong enough, smart enough, or brave enough. And that is a lie. You are already strong enough. You are already capable. You just need to start talking to yourself like someone who believes it. So here's what I want you to do. The next time anxiety creeps in, I want you to say something different. Instead of saying, I can't do this, say, I am safe, I am in control, I can handle this. Instead of saying, what if I fail? Say, what if I succeed? Instead of everyone will judge me, say, the only opinion that matters is my own. This is called thought replacement, and it's one of the most powerful tools you have. Because when you change your thoughts, you change your emotions. And when you change your emotions, you change your actions. Now, let's tie this all together. If you want to take control of your anxiety, you have to do 3 things. 1. Break the hesitation cycle by taking action immediately. 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. 2. Retrain your self-talk to support you instead of working against you. 3. Interrupt anxious spirals by grounding yourself in the present moment. When you do these 3 things consistently, you stop being a victim of anxiety. You stop waiting for confidence to magically appear. You stop believing every fearful thought your brain throws at you. Instead, you take control. You train your mind to work for you. And you prove to yourself, over and over again, that you are stronger than you think. Most people don't realize this, but anxiety isn't just a mental battle, it's a physical one. Your body and mind are deeply connected, and when anxiety takes over, it doesn't just stay in your thoughts. It shows up in your body as tension, a racing heart, shallow breathing, sweaty palms, or that tightness in your chest that makes you feel like you're suffocating. If you've ever had a full-blown anxiety attack, you know what I'm talking about. Your body reacts as if you're in danger even when you're perfectly safe. Your brain is screaming, something is wrong. Run, hide, panic, asterisk. But here's the truth. Nothing is actually happening. The threat isn't real. It's just your nervous system going into overdrive. And that's where the problem lies. When you don't know how to control your body's response, anxiety controls you. But the good news, you can train your body to calm down. You can take back control and stop anxiety in its tracks before it spirals. The first thing you need to do is understand what's actually happening inside your body. Anxiety is a response triggered by your autonomic nervous system, specifically your sympathetic nervous system, which is responsible for the fight or flight response. When your brain perceives a threat, even if it's just an email or an uncomfortable conversation, it floods your body with adrenaline and cortisol. These hormones increase your heart rate, tense up your muscles, and make your breathing shallow. Your body is literally preparing to fight or run even, though you're just sitting at your desk or lying in bed. The way to stop this response isn't by thinking your way out of it. It's by using physical actions to switch from your sympathetic nervous system, fight or flight, to your parasympathetic nervous system, which is in charge of relaxation and calm. One of the fastest ways to do this, control your breathing. Asterisk, asterisk. It sounds simple, but it's scientifically proven. When you slow down your breath, you signal to your brain that you are safe. Deep, intentional breathing lowers your heart rate, reduces muscle tension, and shuts off the stress response. One of my favorite techniques is called physiological sighing, a powerful breathing trick backed by neuroscience. Here's how you do it. 1, take a deep breath in through your nose. 2, before you exhale, take a second shorter inhale. 3, then exhale slowly through your mouth. Do this 2 to 3 times, and you'll feel an immediate shift in your body. This works because the double inhale maximizes oxygen exchange in your lungs, and the slow exhale signals your nervous system to calm down. The next time anxiety starts creeping in, stop whatever you're doing and take 3 physiological sighs. You'll feel a noticeable difference. Now, let's talk about movement. Anxiety is energy. When your body is flooded with stress hormones, that energy needs somewhere to go. If you just sit still, it stays trapped inside you, making your anxiety worse. But if you move, you give that energy an outlet. You don't have to run a marathon or hit the gym for an hour. Even something as simple as shaking out your hands, stretching, or going for a 5-minute walk can break the anxiety loop. The key is to move immediately when you feel anxiety coming on. One trick I use, the 5-second rule, asterisk, asterisk. The moment I notice anxiety creeping in, I count asterisk, asterisk, 5 to 4, -3, -2, -1, asterisk, asterisk, and I physically move. I stand up, I stretch, I walk, I do jumping jacks, whatever it takes to shift my body out of that panicked state. And it works every time. Another way to reset your body, cold exposure, asterisk, asterisk. Cold therapy is one of the fastest ways to shock your nervous system out of an anxious state. Studies show that exposing your body to cold even, something as simple as splashing cold water on your face or holding an ice cube in your hand, activates your vagus nerve, which is responsible for calming your nervous system. If you're feeling overwhelmed, try this. Run cold water over your wrists. Take a cold shower for 30 seconds. Splash ice water on your face. Press an ice pack to the back of your neck. You'll be amazed at how quickly your anxiety decreases. Now, let's talk about one of the most underrated tools for managing anxiety, your posture. Most people don't realize this, but your body language directly impacts your emotions. When you're anxious, your posture changes you, hunch your shoulders, you shrink yourself, you cross your arms, and your brain picks up on these signals, reinforcing the anxiety. But the reverse is also true. If you open up your posture, stand tall, and expand your body, you can trick your brain into feeling more confident and relaxed. Try this right now. Roll your shoulders back, stand up straight, lift your chin slightly, open up your chest. Feel the difference? This small shift sends a signal to your brain that you are safe, in control, and capable. It's called power posing, and research from Harvard psychologist Amy Cuddy shows that it actually changes your brain chemistry. Finally, one of the most powerful ways to regulate your body and mind is grounding yourself in the present moment. Anxiety pulls you into the future. It makes you spiral over what-ifs and worst-case scenarios. But the reality is none of those things are happening right now. The only thing that exists is this moment. So when you feel yourself getting anxious, bring yourself back to the present. One way to do this is the 5 to 4, -3, -2, -1 grounding technique. 5, name 5 things you can see. 4, name 4 things you can touch. 3, name 3 things you can hear. 2, name 2 things you can smell. 1, name 1 thing you can taste. This technique shifts your focus away from anxious thoughts and anchors you in reality. To recap, if you want to take control of anxiety, you have to take control of your body. Control your breathing, physiological sighing. Move your body, immediately use the 5-second rule. Use cold exposure to reset your nervous system. Fix your posture, power poses equals confidence. Ground yourself in the present moment. 5 to 4, -3, -2, -1 technique. Your mind is powerful, but so is your body. And when you learn how to regulate your physical state, you stop letting anxiety control you, you take control of it. Anxiety has a way of making everything feel overwhelming, like you're stuck in a fog with no way out. It makes you doubt yourself, question your decisions, and fear the future. But here's something most people don't realize: your words have power. The way you speak to yourself, the way you frame your thoughts, and the language you use directly shape your reality. If you're constantly saying, "I'm so anxious, I can't do this, I feel lost," then guess what? Your brain believes you. Your body follows suit. Your nervous system reacts accordingly, reinforcing that cycle of anxiety. But what if you could interrupt that cycle with just 2 words? What if you could instantly shift from a place of fear to a place of confidence? That's exactly what you can do when you change the way you talk to yourself. Let's break this down. Anxiety is your brain's response to uncertainty. It's your mind trying to predict the future. But instead of assuming the best, it assumes the worst. Your brain is designed to keep you safe, so it looks for danger, real or imagined. And when it finds something uncertain, it triggers a stress response to prepare you for the worst-case scenario. The problem? Most of the time, there is no real danger. It's just your thoughts running wild. That's where the power of language comes in. If you keep reinforcing your anxiety with negative words, you give it fuel. But if you shift your language, you take back control. And the 2 words that can instantly change your emotional state? I'm excited. Now, I know what you're thinking. Excited? Are you kidding me? I'm not excited, I'm panicking. But hear me out. Physiologically, anxiety and excitement are almost identical in the body. Both cause increased heart rate, adrenaline, sweaty palms, and rapid breathing. The only difference is your interpretation. Anxiety is when you say, "I'm scared." Excitement is when you say, "I'm ready." Here's why this works. When you tell yourself, "I'm excited," you force your brain to reframe what's happening. Instead of seeing your racing heart as a sign of panic, you see it as a sign of anticipation. Instead of feeling paralyzed, you feel prepared. This small shift has a huge impact because your brain believes what you tell it. Studies prove this. Research from Harvard Business School found that people who reframe anxiety as excitement perform better under pressure. Whether it's giving a speech, taking a test, or stepping into an important meeting, those who said, "I'm excited" instead of "I'm nervous" felt more confident, made better decisions, and had improved performance. So the next time you feel anxiety creeping in, stop. Instead of spiraling into negative thoughts, say out loud, "I'm excited." Say it with conviction. Say it like you believe it. At first, it might feel weird or even forced, but trust me, it works. You are teaching your brain a new way to process stress. You are taking control of your emotional state instead of letting anxiety run the show. Now, let's take this a step further. Once you've interrupted the anxiety spiral, you need to redirect your focus. Anxiety thrives when your thoughts are scattered and future-focused. The best way to break that cycle? Ask yourself empowering questions. Instead of, "What if everything goes wrong?" ask, "What if everything goes right?" Instead of, "Why am I so anxious?" ask, "What can I do right now to move forward?" Instead of, "I can't handle this," ask, "What's one small step I can take?" Your brain loves solving problems. When you ask it a question, it looks for an answer. If you ask negative questions, it will find negative answers. But if you ask empowering questions, it shifts your perspective. It moves you from feeling helpless to feeling capable. Another powerful tool, visualization. Your brain doesn't know the difference between something that's actually happening and something you vividly imagine. Athletes use this all the time. Before a game, they visualize themselves winning, and their brains respond as if they've already succeeded. You can do the same thing. If you're anxious about an upcoming event, take a moment, close your eyes, and imagine yourself handling it with confidence. See yourself speaking clearly, moving with ease, feeling calm. Your brain will start to believe that this is possible, and when the moment comes, you'll be more prepared. Here's the bottom line. Anxiety is not something that happens to you. It's something you can take control of. You don't have to be a prisoner to your thoughts. You don't have to let fear dictate your life. You have the power to change the way you think, the way you speak, and the way you respond. So the next time you feel that tightness in your chest, that racing heart, that overwhelming sense of panic, remember these steps. Interrupt the cycle with 2 words, I'm excited. Ask empowering questions that shift your focus. Use visualization to train your brain for success. Anxiety does not define you. You are stronger than you think. And the moment you start changing the way you talk to yourself, you start changing your life.